I'm an idiot. Let me just say that I am an idiot, and NyQuil is one hell of a drug. So now that I've done that, we're going to tilt this back up a little bit. Hey, everybody, guess who's back and still sick and still on cold meds? So let's screw up another video. I will tell everyone the story in case you didn't see it about the last one. And if you didn't see it, you're missing the ramblings of a stone cold idiot. You know, all right, I'll tell it now. I actually had two filmed. I had one stack that I'd gone through, and it was kind of it wasn't the best stack. It was, you know, I'm not even gonna bother going back. It's really nothing really that good in it. Same night I filmed the second one, and that's where the cold medicine kicked in, and I just started to lose my brain, and I turned into an idiot on camera. So I was mad, and I said, I'm done. I'm going to refilm this, and stopped. So then I waited a couple days. I was like, is it really that bad? Was I really lost? And I started watching it, and I was laughing my ass off at myself, for lack of a better word. I was like, oh my God, this is so funny. At least to me. I mean, hopefully some of you got it, but I was just laughing. And I felt, you know what? We're all human. We all make mistakes. Maybe somebody down the road is going to look at this and go, this guy was an idiot, but he's funny. I'm the lovable idiot who's funny. There. There it is. And yes, it ended abruptly, but I thought that was part of the, yeah, like I said, by the time I started giggling, I just couldn't stop. Maybe it was the cold med, so take some, maybe pause, take some NyQuil, come back. I don't know. I'm not advocating drug use anymore. Anyway, neither here nor there. Here we go. So, the last stack. This one's a little bit bigger, so I'm going to try to go through and quickly point out some of the really good highlights. I've got metal, I've got 90s alternative, I've got hip hop, soul. Let's go. Jamiroquai, Dynamite. Now, I know Jamiroquai, and this one, I picked up a bunch of them, and they were really like $1 a piece. I mean, it was ridiculous what I was paying for them. I think this one was just in the stack, and I was like, you know what? I'm familiar and don't know the entire catalog. Um, it says it has the single, feels just like it should, and does not ring a bell with me. Unfortunately, I haven't had a chance to listen to all these. That one didn't ring a bell with me by the title, but I know other Jamiroquai. So, Cypress Hill, Black Sunday, their iconic follow-up to um, their self-titled. The big song on this one, make sure that I'm not losing my brain before I spout off anything. Yeah, there it is, track 3, Insane in the Brain. Also great songs like I Want to Get High. Gee, I have no idea what they're speaking of, me and my innocent little brain. Red Hot Chili Peppers, Californication. Again, great stuff. Still prefer Blood Sugar Sex Magic, but always good to have. Jim Croce, Photographs and Memories, his greatest hits. Reminds me of my mom a lot. She was a huge, huge Jim Croce fan. So glad to have that in the collection. Excuse me. See, again, I'm still sick, so I'm fighting it. Snakes and Arrows from Rush, second copy. Didn't have the booklet, but again, for $1, I wouldn't mind having a copy to, you know, if it gets a little beat up, I don't care. So, I love this movie. This is a stickered promo, like an advance copy. It's the soundtrack to Mystery Men. Absolutely just, no, there's bad glare. Absolutely just, you know what, this is one of those movies that I really enjoy. It's silly, you know I get it, but I actually went to the movie theater to see it, so I dug it a lot. Picked this up a while back before passing the late great Aretha Franklin, the best of. This is the Atlantic years, so you're going to have Chain of Fools, you're going to have Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman, Spanish Harlem, Rocksteady, Respect, Save Me. Just, again, I mean, any era of Aretha Franklin is going to be great, but good to have. Ned's Atomic Dustbin. This one's Brain Blood Volume. See, here I go. I fell in love with Ned's Atomic Dustbin on their debut. I'm pretty sure it was their debut. Godfather. Fantastic stuff. And it's kind of like 90s alternative punk, post punk, something punk, whatever the hell you want to call them. Too many damn labels, you know. But really just love their sound. It was very raw and aggressive. On this one, I want to say, is this their third one? I think this is their third release. They started to experiment a little bit more with what was happening at the time. So this was mid-90s, so there was some sampling going on. But I still love their energy and their sound. Would love to find anything on vinyl. But again, when you're talking like 91-ish to mid-90s, it's tough. I'm not even sure if their first album got a proper vinyl release in the States, but would love to find them. Speaking of Jamiroquai, the best of, this is for Dean. This car has been in the CD since I picked it up. Again, back to the other video. Really love Jamiroquai, and you know they have a great JK has a great 70s sound to their production, to their writing style. And I think that comes across very, very well. You can hear the influences, not just of Prince, but of the 70s soul and 70s R&B. Groups like Earth, Wind and Fire. Flyer? Yeah, see, here I go. Maybe I should just stop. But no, we're going to get through this one. Earth, Wind and Fire, he's got a lot of just that soul, that 70s just soul. So love the sound of Jamiroquai. Not passing that up for $1. Not happening. Even if I had 4 copies of this, I would find a reason to pick this up, and that would be because it would be 20 nickels. The Clash, the singles, yes please. That one has been spun so much in the car. Nothing on the radio, throw that one right in. As well as this one. This is what's the label on this? This is the Best of Funk. It's Universal Music. Okay, so the Best of Funk. See if I can show you some of the players. It's a little fuzzy, but you've got stuff like Brick House, Play That Funky Music, Pick Up the Pieces, Superfly, Fire, Tell Me Something Good, Super Freak, You Dropped a Bomb on Me. I mean, you ain't skipping that. So, Prodigy, Music for the Jilted Generation. This would have been Prodigy's album before they really exploded with Fat of the Land, but I actually prefer this one. Fat of the Land's good, and I'm not trying to take away from it, but this is the type of Prodigy I really like. That high energy, high paced, just fast paced, manic almost. Just great sound, interesting samples, things like that. So was very happy to pick that one up. This one I picked up, and I don't want to say it was a grail, but as soon as I saw it, I knew what it was, and well, I bought it. But this is kind of a 2-in-1 for me, and I know there's not a lot of hip hop fans out there, which is okay. This is Paris, Sleeping with the Enemy. Now Paris, when he came out on the scene, the hip hop scene, he was a little controversial because he was considered a member of the Black Panther Party. So he had very militant lyrics, and being kind of, I won't say a connoisseur, but really interested in hip hop, I listened to all different types, and I always liked his voice, liked his style. Some of his lyrics could hit it would be a little scathing or what have you. But the other reason why I was really excited to pick this up, and I've mentioned his name before, is this is one of the first times we hear a very young DJ Shadow. He did, I want to say it was 3 tracks. He produced 3 tracks on this album, beats and everything. And when I hear them, I hear that definitive DJ Shadow sound, the types of samples that he would use, the types of audio, the audio styles he would go after, and it just kind of laid the groundwork for his production career to follow. So when I saw that, it was, I mean, and again, I'm sure I paid $1, no more than two. I've seen sealed long boxes go for ridiculous money, and I wouldn't want that because I wanted to hear it, and I wanted to own it, and to listen to it. So I was glad I picked that up and found it at such a great price. This one I know I picked up for even under $1. Blues Traveler, Straight Out Till Morning. Obviously, when 4 came out, Straight On Till Morning, excuse me. So when 4 came out, everybody knew Blues Traveler at that point. Love their sound. Obviously, Popper is a hell of a harp player. I mean, the man had harmonicas for days, and he just. I really enjoyed his voice too. So the overall writing style, it was great music to me, and I feel that they didn't get enough of the love that they probably should have. But when I see their stuff, I'm gonna grab it because it's just killer stuff. So this, I'm a huge, ridiculously huge Scott Weiland fan. I love his voice. I'm one of those people that go, 12 bar blues wasn't that bad. That's me. I know it's sickening. So when I heard that he was, well, obviously way before his passing, when I heard he was doing a band with Slash, my eyes bugged out of their head. And this is Contraband. Fantastic stuff. Really wish they would have done more than just I want to say it was 2. Maybe they put out a live album, but really wish they'd have done more together. Another one that's been in my car for a bit, Lenny Kravitz Greatest Hits. He just did a new one. I don't have it, haven't heard it yet, but I am a Lenny fan. Been since he kind of came on the scene out of nowhere with Let Love Rule. Just love the sound and the production. The Cure, All Mixed Up. Not the biggest fan of this album. There are a couple of really good 12-inch single versions of some of the songs from Disintegration on here, and that's kind of why I bought it. I think it was the Pictures of You, the dub mix, and the extended mix of Fascination Street. Not saying that there's not other mixes on here that are good. Just those were the ones that I had. I really wish I hadn't gotten rid of my 12-inch singles. That's all we're going to say. Shed a tear. Not music, but damn funny. Lewis Black. This is The End of the Universe. When growing up, I became a huge George Carlin fan. And it probably stemmed from the, hey, you can't listen to those records. So parents are asleep, you sneak out into the living room and real quiet or on headphones. I would hear George Carlin, and it was the 7 words you can't say on television, or one of his greatest lines that he ever told was, getting fired from a hotel for saying the word shit when their biggest game was craps. He was handcuffed to Lenny Bruce. He really was a comedic wordsmith. His timing was impeccable, and he was always thinking. So he was a huge loss to comedy and to just free thinking when he passed. A lot of people found his later stuff a little bitter. I won't dispute that, but he was still damn funny. So when he passed, it was like, who was there to kind of carry on that torch? And I know we had some pretty good scathing comedians, but nobody's more pissed off, I think, these days than Lewis Black, and he's absolutely hysterical. Whenever I see stuff of his, I'm gonna pick it up. Need to get this on vinyl, and I know the reissues are fairly cheap, but one of Beck's best, Odelay, just fantastic stuff. So I picked that one up for literally $1. Kind of skipping around a little bit, kind of picking up the pace of some of the forget some of the big hitters. Melissa Etheridge's debut. Pretty sure I already have this in somewhere. It was just easy to pay a buck to try to dig it out, but good stuff. I know we already have a copy of this, but I think this one's an upgrade because it was a little beat. Gin Blossoms, and congratulations. I'm sorry. Another one that would love to find on vinyl. The I Am Sam soundtrack. I actually really enjoyed this movie. It really just told a wonderful, wonderful story. Even though at moments it was tough to sit through because of how personal it could be, and the pain. But also really enjoyed the soundtrack to this as well. If you're not familiar with it, it tells a great story with using the music of the Beatles as a focal point. So you have a lot of different Beatles music on here, done by some just amazing artists. So was happy to pick that one up. This one I actually picked up brand new for like a couple bucks. It's Michael Jackson's Dangerous. Not his best album, I don't think, by any means. I don't think anybody would call it that, but it has some wonderful moments. I love the song Jam. Remember the Time obviously was a huge one. So I was glad to pick that one up. Lo and behold, yet another Jamiroquai album, Synchronized. Again, like I said, I ended up picking up like 3 or 4 of them. It was a nice haul. Mr. Vincent wrote on the CD case, but I'll exchange that, but the debut of the B-52s. I mean, you see that, you're grabbing it. So, and if you don't, then you're wrong. I'm sorry. And again, I know I have a copy of this, but I'm always glad to pick up another one. Cosmic Thing by the B-52s as well. This one was just a fantastic return to form. I thought they married that sound that they were known for so well into the late 80s and gave it a great pop sound, which was great to see. I showed this on vinyl. I think we pretty sure have like this 2 or 3 times. But again, how can you say no to Rocky Horror? So it's always good to pick up. Joss Stone, just an amazing voice. I mean, you want to talk about someone who can crush you with a voice. This is one of those people. This is the Soul Sessions. Another Michael Jackson CD that I picked up on the cheap, off the wall. Probably my favorite Michael Jackson album. Coming out of the disco era, he married that well with the writing and production of Quincy Jones into an R&B pop soul record. Just, I mean, every song on this is a monster. Sorry, as my cat is rubbing up against the platform that my phone is on, as you saw the tail, because, hey, you're on the floor, you're filming. Why wouldn't you just, stop and pay attention to me? Sabbath, Masters of Reality. Have this on vinyl. It's a little noisy, so if I'm in the mood for a cleaner version, I'll go to the disc. I will upgrade my vinyl at some point. And again, I think this is the last of the ones I picked up, Jamiroquai, and this one is the Return of the Space Cowboy. I can't speak enough of just how much I enjoy the sound of Jamiroquai. Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath this is kind of those digipack gatefold. Thought it was really cool that the CD kind of replicates the label, the cover of the label. And if my cat doesn't stop rubbing against the thing, we're gonna go crazy. Another fantastic Quentin Tarantino soundtrack, Reservoir Dogs. So I have Pulp Fiction, Jackie Brown. I think we can throw those in a changer and call it a Quentin Tarantino Music Day. And like I said it before, at least I'm pretty sure I said it before. Love the way that they splice in the lines from the movie. Was lucky enough to pick up the second Dance Atomic Dustbin, so I really had a nice run with them on CD. This one is Are You Normal? I again will really love to find Godfather on CD, on vinyl, just because absolutely fantastic stuff. Another copy of this one. This is Big Audio Dynamite's The Globe. Fantastic stuff. I mean, obviously, excuse me as I am trying not to die on camera, because that really wouldn't get me many more likes, would it? So obviously after Mick Jones and Cole Clashton is gone, he had gone on to do a little bit more of a different sound, a little bit more on the production of the '90s style, but just great stuff from Big Audio Dynamite. Always enjoy them. A couple from 311. I am a 311 fan. I really enjoy their sound. Grassroots and Sound System were those. And no, it's not on this album. I thought it was. I was thinking Grassroots had one of my favorite songs by them, but it doesn't. But it does have some great songs on there, like Omaha Style and Homebrew. Sound System, this is obviously a little bit more as they come into their own with some of the big hits. This one had Come Original on it. This one's not in the best of shape, but again, for under $1, I think is what I paid. Always glad to pick that up. So, if memory serves me correctly, this is the second album from The Pursuit of Happiness. And I know David Michael Nas Nomad has talked about them before, and just what a fantastic album this is. I think everybody, well, I hate to say everybody, I think the generalization statement, but I think a lot of people know them from their bigger hit, the biggest hit, at least that I know of, which was I'm an Adult Now. Obviously, it helped with MTV. MTV was actually still playing videos in the '90s. Who would have thought that? It was just that rebellious teen angst almost of, I'm an adult, everything sucks, having responsibilities blow. Be thankful when you're a teenager you had the world, the world is your oyster, and promises aren't broken. So I think it encapsulates that feeling as you're going out into the world of, well, this really sucks, and to me that captured my ear when I first heard it. So I was unfamiliar with this. I mean, I knew the band, and I picked this up and was excited to listen to it, and it's really well done. They should have had a longer career than they did. So if you are a fan of that '90s alternative sound, which kind of gets hodgepodge, I guess, in a way, go check them out on YouTube. If it's your style. I know I'm not even sure if this got a proper vinyl release. If it did, I'm pretty sure it's stupid, pricey. I can honestly say I don't think I ever looked, but it's really good stuff, and I really do enjoy it. So I had said that I had some more metal, and this is where I really earned my metal street cred back for saying that Jack White was the lead singer for Great White, and just really being an idiot who was under the influence of some really good NyQuil. Halloween, and Halloween. So these three I did not pay $1 for, or $2. I actually paid $4 each. One of my record stores that I usually visit, Triangle Vinyl, I've mentioned them before on this channel, that really good to me, gives me great deals, great selection. The owner there is just a wealth of knowledge, and you ask him to recommend you something, he's not going to steer you wrong. He generally doesn't buy other things. He doesn't buy CDs, he doesn't buy 8-tracks or cassettes. He gets them though. I don't know if it's a package deal, and usually when he does, he gets it. He's like, he'll cut you deals. It's basically, it's there. It's like kind of like an afterthought. And he had a huge collection of metal CDs come in, and I think he decided that was worth picking up. And by the time I got to it, it had been picked pretty clean. But I was lucky enough to pick up these three. So this is Halloween's Gambling with the Devil. This one is from 2007. Wasn't as familiar with the later Halloween as I am with the earlier stuff. So this is actually the Better Than Raw Expanded Edition. Now, this is a 1-disc, but this one's also on Sanctuary, and this one was the previous one of this one, of this one, came out in 2006. I mean, Halloween always has had some of the most kick-ass artwork ever. Now, I first heard of Halloween way back in '80s with Keeper of the Seven Keys. It was probably some article that said that they were one of those bands you should really check out, and I went out and kind of based off the article, probably reading it in some sort of hit parade or circus magazine, because those were the metal magazines to read when you were into metal. Uh, Absolutely didn't, I shouldn't have always listened to them, but I did, and so glad I did, because when I bought Keeper of the Seven Keys, I was completely blown away. I know a lot of people have called them prog metal or whatever the case may be, but if you're a fan of Halloween, they have a very distinct, very just a very particular sound. Their albums I love more than others. Keeper of the Seven Keys is one of my favorite, but also Walls of Jericho. Now, this is also the expanded edition. This is a 2-disc set. Disc 1 is in my changer that I have down here. So, but disc 2 is in here, and disc 2 is kind of like a collection of like the B-side singles and stuff like that. But what this is the expanded edition of Walls of Jericho is it actually has their original EP as well as the Walls of Jericho, and then an extra track on the back, which was I think either a separate single or a B-side, and it actually tells me in here. What's really cool is they replicate the original back of the LP jacket, so just fantastic stuff. Of the three, by far and large, my favorite of the Halloween albums that I picked up. Kind of, since I'm already in here and I'll look at it now. The last song on the first disc is from it says the Judas EP, which was I think an EP that came out after the original release of the Walls of Jericho album. So anyway, that's what I have. That's the last of them. I am done with my months of picking up CDs. It's a long one, kids. I do apologize for that. I also want to thank everybody for the well wishes, the humorous comments back, the giggles, the laughs. Every once in a while, I'm liable to do something stupid. That's just the kind of guy I am. I'm not saying that I'm stupid. I say I am stupid, but I don't really mean it. But I am one of those guys that, will put my foot in my mouth in a funny way. I will do something silly, sometimes even for the laugh. But I think those are the most real moments, is when we are literally letting our guard down and we're treating each other like friends. To me, this was a 29-minute conversation that just didn't let you get a word in edgewise. I'll let you guys do all the talking now. A lot of videos to catch up on. I have a lot of videos I need to make. There's a bunch of contests going on. If I haven't been commenting, I do apologize. If in case you don't know, I actually work in the insurance field. I am a data specialist, data analyst, whatever you want to call it. I'm one of those guys that, likes to play in Excel a lot, and pivot tables and spreadsheets and stuff like that. The people that a lot of people are like, hey, you're cool to know at parties when we want to log in all of our crap, but other than that, we don't want to know you. And since I work in insurance, it's property insurance. With Hurricane Florence and hitting the shores of North Carolina, we're very, very busy, and we are praying for a great outcome for those who are going to be impacted by this storm. These storms are very dangerous, and they can do a lot of damage, and it's our company's job to see what we can do to help. It's all depending on what's there on the paper, but my organization tries to do the best that they can in any situation that they are allowed to help out as many people as they can. It's kind of like being a car salesman. You've got good ones and you've got bad ones. And I'm fortunate enough to say that I work with a really good company that tries to do the best that they can. Unfortunately, though, that requires a lot of information from me so that people can make sure that things are moving along smoothly. And I'm really a team of one. I am the data guy. That's how I get introduced. Someone new comes on, here's the data guy. So, a lot of demands on me. So if I haven't been commenting, if I've maybe missed something, I do apologize. I'm gonna try as much as I can to get in, but unfortunately, this is the nature of the beast that I work in. So, thanks for sticking around. Thanks for watching. Thanks for laughing. These are meant to be fun. I know it's long and I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm giving myself the wrap it up signal. I can hear the music playing. But at the end of the day, this is just a fun way for me to interact with people that are truly my friends that I have never met in real life and would love to. So, thanks for laughing. Thanks for commenting. Thanks for subscribing. And just thanks for being here. Hope everybody has a great weekend. Peace.